Hello, and thank you for watching the video. I'm Mr. Gentleman Shadowcat, and I'll be covering a few fast travel locations that should help your game a little bit easier if you're trying to save on caps, what they have in store for you inside those locations, and what could be around them. And maybe a little bit of lore, depending if I was actually on the server or not during that time. So, let's start with Vault 76. For right now we have Pennington, and I believe he'll be switched out for the Ghoul from the TV show come the next season. We have a Wayward Sign, which we can't really interact with at all, besides that it has a few things to go with it. And you really get into that quest down here, talking to the NPCs down here during the NPCs DLC update. That was a few years back. So we do have a donation box. Hey newcomers, welcome to Wasteland, hell of a place, isn't it? And so forth. Pretty much any experienced players will actually leave behind any loot. I try to leave behind serums or plans for new players at this location. Other places I do that too is Foundation. And yeah, I pretty much only drop at Foundation because I noticed that's one spot that you walk into Foundation, you see the donation box right there. We don't really have one at Rusty Pick or at the Gleam Depths like we should, but anyway, I'm getting off track. We do have the Angles Needed, which is how you start your fishing quest for fishing and so forth. And in this area, nearby I should say, at the location, are just a few ghouls. Now, I did just kill a few ghouls at the beginning here. And yeah, that's all of them. Okay, what else do we have at the location? Let me pull up my mini-map. We have the Cultists in the Oregon Cave north, south, and there should be another location, and west. This also is a fishing challenge location where you can get the, what was the legendary fish, the Oregon. Yeah, the Oregon grinder fish, which I have at my camp to put on display and so forth. So, you have the cultists in the Oregon Cave to deal with to get to your fish, but it creates a separate instance, so you don't have to deal with any players trying to kill you behind your back. If you go to the North Kanwaga lookout outpost at the beginning of the game, actually that's your first location you should be going to because it opens up all the other locations around you. I believe it'll open up about, let's see, the Williams Brothers Out of Repair, down to, I say, the Isolated Cabin, and a few of the Oregon Cave locations, if I remember correctly. It's not that big of a circle, but it does locate a few locations for you and get XP for it. Besides that, you have a Moonshiner's Shack, which you have NPCs from the Raiders, the Foundation, and sometimes respawners, but not too often. I know they usually are spawning down here at the Glowman's Miller. If you go to the Isolated Cabin, that's how you begin your quest to get your free shelter at Vault 51. And that's pretty much everything I can say about Vault 76 that I can remember off the top of my head. On to the next location, I would say for beginners and most of the quest lines usually lead me to the Rusty Pick. Okay, the Rusty Pick. When the game first came out, it was actually a ghoul hotspot inside and out. That's if I remember correctly. Okay, I don't recall that happening too often, but okay. And if you didn't know, if you have Scroungeler, the ammo luck perk right now, you can get free ammo up here on the top, whichever weapon you have currently active. So, yeah, not too much on the outside. And around here is just a hardwood air purifier site. It's a free resource location. There'll be a quest for the Bochi Betty. You also get the Tesla, I think, the particular ore you can only get at this location. I should say. I'll pull it up in my scrap box. That's tongue twister way for me to pronounce. You have your Avior Medical Center, which has mostly only Scorch inside of it. Charleston Fire Department, and the Charleston Capitol Building, which has a mix of Scorch or ghouls inside. I should say the Scorch on the outside and the ghouls on the inside, which, okay, doesn't really make sense, but I'll take it. And before I forget, there's also the Riverside Manor, which has its own little quest to it. So I'm not going to get into much detail about that until another time. We also have the Relays Tower HE B709 and Abandoned Mine 5. There's also Abandoned Mine Shaft Site Kelly, I believe it's pronounced. It's also a event location, but it's some of the locations I share with another free travel location, but pretty much there's not too much going on right here. If you want anything, it's mostly going to be resources in this location. Okay, it does have one vendor, and before I do anything else, let me check on that one particular, I think it was, I know the material as soon as I see it. That's the sad part. Yeah, black titanium. It's a main component for making an exosuit for your power armor for getting more materials from other dig sites. But at this location, at the Rusty Peg, there's actually one vendor here. Purveyor Murmrgh. I always have a hard time pronouncing her name. There was supposed to be a second one at another location at the Milepost 0, but I was gonna guess that's never gonna happen. Let's see, you have your poke card change machine, the legendary exchange. You have your Tinker's Workbench in the back here. And a few times you can actually get some soap. That's mainly for a daily challenge or weekly one. Down here we have a brewing station. I keep on forgetting some of the stuff. Weapons workstation, a armor station. Oh, I should say power armor station. I mean right there. Then you got your armor station and a chemist station right here. Now besides that, down here, there's not really anything ongoing on back here. Besides, we may get like a free weapon to pick up and so forth. And that's mainly for new players. Free assault round to loot. Voltet student who I guess got down here and never got back up. And then I know there's a mole miner back here. Yeah, there he is. He's friendly. Even if you could get back there, you can't really attack him. I always seen a few players get back there lately. Now, before we head to the next location, I just want to go over what this vendor sells. And it's pretty much your legendary modules, Vault Steel Scrap, and mystery caches from 1 store, 2 store, and 3 stores. I'm kind of wondering if we're going to get a full store sooner or later here, or we're going to get the random randomizer on our weapons and armor later first. I'm not sure, but in a way that might, if anything, increase our odds actually hitting, going here instead of hitting the raids. I don't know. Right now, the only way you can get your full strokes is actually inside the raids. Leave a comment and so forth if you think maybe it'd be nice to have a mystery cash box right here in the race you pick to get a chance to actually use some of your scrap. And with that, I think we're going to go. I'm going to go to Nuka-World. Okay, in the general area of Nuka-World, on tour, I should say, you get the boarding mine, which you can get coal easily from if you have that daily challenge of collecting coal and so forth. You have the Herbivore air purifier site. There's nothing there besides a locker. The pylon ambush site, and that is the Sand Squash ambush quest, I believe, that if you do a few particular storyline quests, you can actually activate it. I have the site ID card. I can just show you at Tinker's Workbench how you craft one. And pretty much you just need the Soltron Recall key card, and you can activate that particular quest. But it does use up a good bit for lesson flux, the stable type. So, back to what I was saying about locations at Nuka-World. As you just saw, there's the main workshop area. I believe, in a way, this was secondly active. The main one before was the one over here. So let me just run over here real quick. So technically there's actually two workshop areas. Let's see, we have Tinker's Workbench, the Chemist Station, the Weapons Workbench, and the Armor. But there is no Power Armor Workbench over here. That you have to go back to the main site. But there is a doctor. If you didn't know, Del Walsh, I'll just show you what he actually sells. He actually is my main guide to get my berry medtats. And I just hop servers and just get a whole bunch of berry medtats, and there I go. If you need to, you can also get blood packs. For those who are trying to craft those vampires mods, so right there between the berry medtats and blood packs, he's actually quite useful. You also have the antibiotics and the addictor. So out of many vendors I've been to, he's actually one of the better ones I go to for getting my medication and so forth.
Gotta do everything myself around here.
And you can also buy super stimps from him too. So yeah, he's a very useful NPC, as if you ask me, throughout all of Nuka-World. You have your donation box over here by him. So next location is actually where you spawn by, and that is Betty Hill. And actually behind her is actually the only cooking station throughout this whole carnival site. So you can actually cook here at the stove. But there is a free Uruguay pastry, a few Uruguay hides. If you try and make some Hunter's mods, that's actually the main ingredient to make besides the 15 modules. And sugar. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3 pastries and a couple of hot dogs in the machine here. And we got the round top, and we have the Wild West. And like I was saying before, this is where we have most of the workstation. That's where I see most of the players at. But don't forget about the one side area that I honestly didn't see until maybe half a year later. But I just discovered about, I think back in April, May, after just coming back to the game. So As usual, your workstations, your ammunition box, which you don't have one at the Rusty Pick, scrap box, and your aid storage box. Now, some of these I just mentioned are actually for Fallout First members only. So this part of the video is hit or miss, but this aid station is quite hard to find. It's only look at just a few locations besides your camp. Let's see, we got the legendary scrapper exchange, and then you got your Nuka-World um, tokens exchange. I don't really think the games even work. Last time I checked around here, and this is supposed to be like a sample what's inside the the little exchange box over here. And yeah, the whack-a-mole you can actually get the whiskey pick for free. You just gotta get there first. And the thirst sap is the only thing I see throughout the whole thing is the main item. Number 5. Okay. So yeah, I don't think these go up. I don't have my thirst sap on me. Anyway, I'm gonna go around. This is also a nice location. If you hit cashier tellers right here, you can actually find pre-war money inside and scrap these for cloth. So yeah, there's actually quite a few on this whole row there of those little machines. But if you need any like Nuka-Cola, Nuka Orange or Grape, just go to these vending machines over here. Or there might actually be a few like up here, like a setting, and get some Nuka Cola from the vending machine, like so. Now, I never see any Nuka Cranberry or Nuka, what was it? Nuka Shine, I should say. The Nuka Shine you gotta make yourself. The Nuka Cranberry you gotta look around. And I think it's only like 24 spots throughout the whole map, and not including Skyline Valley. So yeah, this is everything that I can say about Nuka-World on tour. The next location a lot of players go to, and this is gonna be like, how do I say it? It's a little bit longer video, which I had to split up the video because of how big it is. Okay, the Whitesprings. I'll do the refuge first, and then I'll do the mall on the second part because there's more to the refuge than you think there is. Say if you want to get to the Enclave Bunker inside of here, there's actually another entrance besides going to the back corner of the service entrance or to the Whitesprings Bunker that way. Either way, I'll deal with the roundabout location, what's around here, and work my way inside. So, as I was just saying, there's actually the Enclave Bunker underneath this location. There's the Whitesprings Golf Course, which is just flooded with ghouls, and there's another lookout post over here, which actually makes other locations easier to find for new players. So, there's the Whitesprings train station. Here is another vendor over here, the train station so forth, since that's the only main vending we had at the beginning of the game. And before, at the beginning, Whitesprings was actually more or less a ghoul-infested hotspot, where we can only get like glowing blood if in case you nuked the whole location back then. Now it's the resort and the Whitesprings Mall. We also have, let's see, the Blackwater Mine and the Murmrgh Power Substation MZ02. I bring up these two items because there's a particular event that happens and they're actually combined. There's actually a back way inside the mine right at the power station. You just gotta climb up the hill, and it's usually right about here is the back way in. We also have the safe and clean disposal site and the new Appalachia, I should say, sorry, central train yard, which I can actually find a frostnut mask, which I actually have a shit on me. And I'll just show you in my stash. Let's see, we also have the Vantage, which is a Blood Eagle's nest. And if I really want to stretch it, there's a few other locations, but they start to intersect with the Foundation's location. So right there, I'm going to stop there about around here and more talking about inside of the refuge. We have Ezra, the Foundation's cook. We also have Rocker, the main head of the responders. And if you need any like toilet paper and so forth, I know there's like a daily a week challenge of 2 to 5. This is a nice location to get toilet paper. Now, if you didn't know, you can actually sit down in the chair and start ordering food from this location. As soon as one of the bots come. Yep. And this is all random. Sometimes you get some good food, sometimes you don't. I do need to drink some tea. Okay, I think I'll come back here later. I to pay challenge to drink different types of tea. I haven't completed since the game started. Let's see here. I'll go that way later. We have Skippy over here and a Tinker's Workbench. Now, there's no real cooking station up here. It's more downstairs in the mall. We do have a bartender, so if you need alcohol, say for Biv's challenges in Morgantown, you can get most of your alcohol here and just get the event that way. Here's Sophie. She has a daily, weekly challenge sometimes. Oh, I should say daily. Sorry. And oh yeah, that frostnut mask you can actually get.
My friends didn't want to join up with me. Said the responders sounded like too much work. Wonder what they're doing now.
And it's just a frostnut mask, I should say. Sorry. Okay, that's at the train yard that I was talking about earlier. I believe I did a video about that about a month or two ago when frostnut was back and so forth. Let's see, we have Bubbles. She sells Nuka-Cola. And we have Giuseppe, a man with the stamps. Yep. Okay, so Jeremiah Hawkins, he doesn't really do anything. He's supposed to be a character for
Sorry, I'm not much.
Atlantic City,
Ellison talked to my
but that was just about it that I got from him. And if Bethesda decides to add more side quests, you'll see them right about here at this location, or should be this one here for the Red Rose. But this one hasn't really been activating. It'll do it on and off, but it doesn't look like this one's working. You do have the game room back here.
These robots sure make my job easier.
And you can actually get some bowl games in the back. Let's see, which one was the cleaning room again? No, that's a break room. Ah. If you need a Bratsy for a daily challenge, there's some back here too. Okay, so yeah, I forgot you could take the bowling pins with you.
A safe haven filled with people trying to help others? Feels like I've died and gone to heaven.
There's a few microscopes also in the middle. And then there's a surgical trays in case you need aluminum. Because I believe surgical trays are what? 2, 3? Let's check. Yeah, it's 2.
This wanton robot tried to give me a haircut before running off.
And yeah, there's a few fans in case you need screws for materials for your weapons and so forth. And I think there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 microscopes throughout this little section here of a med bay. But the other way into the Enclave Bunker that I like to go is actually back here. They really haven't done anything over here besides entrance. So if you need teacups or teapots, there's some over here too. Now, at first it looks like a dead end. Elevator out and so forth. I have gotten stuck down here before. And I'm not sure what they're going to do down here. They haven't really put too much into the downstairs, I should say.
Today's security status is red. Please take appropriate.
And quite honestly, I could have sworn there was a barricade right there, but yeah, I could see them expanding or doing something down here. The Whitesprings Theater. Huh. Anyway, back onto what I was talking about. I'm guessing there might have been like a Night of the Fisherman's Revenge in the theater we've been playing. And there's also another Ticker's Workbench down here. So if you want to hide from your friends and so forth, you can do so, but this location is more or less a separate instance from the mall and so forth. And I will go one more. But the other location, how to get into the Enclave Bunker, is right here. Come on. Okay, hand scanners on wall. Okay, I'll just show you the usual way I go into the Enclave Bunker that I think many players sometimes do too. Okay, this one's working. Now, the location I just was trying to show you where it does sometimes lag out. And how you get in and out, I'm going to show here in a second. I'll do the Enclave Bunker another day, but because it's unfriendly to ghouls, you can't really come in here without your disguise, sadly. Okay, so. Okay. That's a glitch. I've never seen that happen before. But anyway, as you just saw before the gate closed, this is supposed to be another way into the Enclave Bunker from the surface. Not sure why it's glitching out this way. I know it does do that a few times if you just got done playing as a ghoul. So maybe that's a glitch. Okay, I'll have to see if it will set after a week. And what I was talking about was the weekly updates, something that helps reset your issues you have with the game.
At your service, sir.
So if you have, like, I was dealing with the Enclave backdoor was giving me issues. Sometimes if you just start off as a human on the weekly update on Tuesdays, it should fix the issue. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. There are a few different vendors, I know that. This one's more for the Whitesprings. Luxury Goods with Helen. And we have the shopping mall vendor. He's more or less this location like a duplicate vendor, I should say. We got the main workstation. You can trade in your gold here.
Security patrols.
Dude, just shut up. Your exchange and your workstations, as you had before. And we also have another aid bag over here. Luckily, most of the time, the responders will let anyone in, including ghouls, so you don't have to wear disguise in here. Thank goodness. Most players deal with Fredericks. I believe I'm pronouncing his name correctly. We have the local vendor for the Free States. Dude, shut up before I shoot you.
Violation of hotel policies may result in detention, removal, and/or
And Finlock and the Raiders vendor. Now, for some reason, Finlock here only sells a few plans. And when I mean few, I mean like just Black Power pistol, Black Power rifle, and the Revolutionary War sword. Yeah. That's it for him. And if you need anything like radio stuff, you just come to the radio vendor. Honestly, they could have just gave everything to Finlock here and it just kept a whole separate personality. Don't ask me why they did this. You do have Antonio, the chef, where you get recipes.
to Le Grand Gourmet. Are you here for
They are
the
expensive, even with my charisma being quite high. And then we have Maria with the scrap and so forth for making your cookware. Cap, he honestly only sells toys. So unless you need some toys and so forth for your daily quest or weekly, he's your guide. He does not sell any plants. Same with Twiddle. If I'm saying that right. Buy one, get one half off. Doesn't mean anything with the robot. And then we have the Brotherhood of Steel vendor shop. I'm trying to remember what Conium has.
Armor and kit for your next expedition.
Bearskin rug, golf club, and walking cane. Yeah. And then you have the Brotherhood vendor. Living Chi, I could swear they could actually do more.
This is live chic. Casual couture with passion.
And honestly, it's just a pail. That's it. No weapons, no nothing. Honestly, I feel like they actually switch out the robot here for like a Volt 7063 vendor who comes up, trades, maybe even Blue Ridge between the two, selling merchant items here. Quite honestly, this one doesn't seem right. If anything, you could also just make a new vendor for the Highway 10 that comes here. Okay, we got the responders, local goods. Alcina, I think. She doesn't sell any plants, but she does sell some decent junk, I believe. Yeah. If you need bulk tents, books, and so forth, you just come over here and like, pay 2 caps. If you're having issues by the Summersville, yeah. And responders vendor, yeah. He has the plans for the excavator overdrive sensors and blood cleanser. That's the only ones I don't have, but I don't see a need for them. I mean, 50% of not getting addictive to consuming chems doesn't really do anything for me. It'd be better off with a 100% chance. And sprinting and action point calls for sprinting. So, yeah. The last one that some players do just skip is the Dog Stanley. And yeah, he might sell blood packs, but his stock is very limited. So I would rather go to the one in Nuka-World, where I at least get super stims, berry medtats, and blood packs over with him than this particular doctor. Okay, and that should cover everything I have to say about the Whitesprings. I'm going to go to my next location. Okay, we're at Crater, and that's in the Toxic Valley. As usual, I'm going to talk about what's around Crater, which honestly, before the main DLC expansion where they added NPCs in, it was mainly a nest of super mutants here. So, yeah. Honestly, just north of here is just Boundary, which is right at my tent here. So right there, there's nothing to go on for. And let's see, to the east is the Knife Edge, which I get the Rad Scorpions to deal with, and then the Black Bear Lodge. Otherwise, there's not really anything nearby for your cap worth. Yeah, I mean, Baby Willows, this other legendary fishing spot, but that's the only other location I come up here for anymore. So let's talk about around the outside of Crater and the inside. And looks like I forgot there's Mo's actually here. She actually comes around, let's see, beginning of the month it's Foundation, Fort Atlas, Crater, and then last month will be the Whitesprings. So we are, if she's here, we should be what? Wait, she did Foundation last week. It'll be Fort Atlas next week, and then Whitesprings. It gets confusing keeping track. Anyway, back onto what I was looking at and doing. Guns is still up here for your weapons. Ari, I believe I should be pronouncing her name. You can only get a few bow plans, but there's also another trader you can go to for the same notes over in Foundation. And you need to have a decent amount of trust with the raiders. So right now I'm allied with both settlements, with raiders and the Foundation. But you start out as unknown or hostile. There's your workstation right here and your donation box, which I don't really see a lot of players coming back here. Then again, I don't really see a lot of players come up to the Toxic Valley anyway. Besides your daily quest, there's nothing really going on. The other vendor merchant I don't really talk about is this guy here, your armor one, Rift. And let's see. You can get a few things of junk, but that's about it. And I'm mainly saying for players who are on a tightly timed schedule for time and so forth. Let's see, we've got Molly here. She does sell a few recipes. And that'll be the pepperoni roll, rat scorpion fillet, and the Murmrgh fillets. The main one is the pepperoni roll. Otherwise, there's not really much going on the outside of Crater. There's a few corn stacks over here, but that's about it. And then every so often there might be a fission core in the generator. Just saying in case you need one. Okay, I know they're going to talk in front of me and so forth. I kind of almost want to make this so I re-record with no sound in the background. But pretty much you just got Meg and a few workstations in the side of Crater and your Goop Bullion trading station and motor time. Yeah.
Good day to you.
Besides a few particular planes you can only get here with Murmrgh time. I pretty much got all of them that I don't really care anymore. I mean, I got the company tea machine from the Atomic Shop. Chuck Wagon cooking station. I really don't need it. Armco ammunition construction station is actually not bad, but it only does standard ammo.
Fisher comes across cool, but I don't trust anyone I can't get a beat on.
You can also buy the Gus minigun here, unless you just buy off from Monov. And the add-on pieces of it. And the water bowler, which is quite painful just getting these amount of gold bullion, since I don't see too many players going on here.
The Brotherhood of Steel. Even the damn Free States.
Okay, so... Okay, the red room, I believe. Oh, rose room, I should say. I keep getting that messed up. Yeah, rose room. Okay. So, there's nothing too much on the outside besides a particular side quest code that doesn't really pop up. Besides, you need to use a particular terminal. It actually was on the inside, behind these windows, that now holds, well, was it the child devil from Atlantic City? Chainsaw, I could use her scrapping later. But yeah, I know this next area I gotta pretty much kill the stem because I keep getting hit with copyright infringement with YouTube. Because it seems like the song is now no longer owned by Bethesda or some type of glitch. I'm not sure why, but I just keep getting slapped with copyright infringements. So in the next part, I'm pretty much gonna... I'll pretty much just show it, but I'm not gonna speak. There's what, 1 or 2 workstations in the Rose Room and casinos, but you don't get any payoffs. There's also a quest that goes with it, so you can get the civilian engineer almost set. In this location area, I mainly just fast travel here, so I can get to Morgantown and get to the high school, or just get to a Biv and do the Tasty Turbine alcohol challenges. Now, location 2, the Savage Divine, for Atlas. Just like the Rose Room, there's no vendors. And same with Fort Atlas, you actually do have a workstation on the outside and on the inside. I kind of wish there was a Brotherhood Steel vendor here selling supplies for fellow Brotherhood Steel members and so forth. You have a donation box right here. I don't see anyone coming here because of no vendors and so forth. I'll keep saying that as a reminder of Bethesda, hey, put someone here, sell shit. And here's your workstation. And if Monov does come next week, it'll be, what was it, last week? Right there, at the spacious, easy to place square. Yeah. Park card changing, which there wasn't really one at the Rose Road. So if you don't have your correct park set, you gotta go to another location that does have one. Okay, so now as a ghoul, you can't come in here unless you have your disguise on, your dirty pill, I should say. There's another exit right here, I believe. That's not a good sign. I'll deal with that last.
We're here to protect the people.
So your workstation in here at the Fort Atlas is right here. I could see having one of the NPCs here be turned into a vendor right there or right at the entrance, right over here.
I'm gonna make a name for myself holding down the
I mean,
fort.
hello.
I get to go out, prove my worth.
Otherwise, there's really no reason to come here. I mean, I can't even come over here and talk to the scientists I actually spared, and they don't even trade with me.
Ad Victoria.
Hello, Night Arrow.
Scribe Vidal,
There's so much to
I always
do.
get her name wrong,
I hope I get to meet
but
another
if you
person
bring back any like technical documents, you do get stuff
Great.
back. I did bring
Where we've been? This whole place may
initiated
be closed to
dodge
visitors.
from Wotoga over here. It's not too bad of a quest. You don't get anything back for it, but hey, he's now with his fellow Brotherhood. Let's see. Here's the bedding, bathrooms,
Never forget the heroes of Fort Defiance.
and if you do go down to the Alice substructure, you do run into between bugs and mole rats.
Wait to tell Max about my latest patrol.
So yeah,
Scorched, the raiders, the ghouls.
I don't think I have anything else to say about this location besides it's an easy location to get to my northern east spots before. Let's see, I don't have that location finished, so I don't have the radiation location open. But either way, this is how I get to most of my northern spots, I should say, throughout the whole game. If I want anything like closely travel, like Murmrgh, I believe I'm pronouncing it right, or just going to say the Silver Sun's lodging camp for wood. There's also a Deathclaw at Hopperville Cave. And then over here for if you need a Winnego, just like the name, Winnego Cave. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything else I can report about Fort Atlas. Besides, well, there should be another way out right here. And this leads to, well, it looks like the back entrance of Fort Atlas, or the helipad, I should say. So if you're running from another player,
The old and forward
and you are human, you can actually run in here to hide. Or if you're a ghoul, and hopefully you have the disguise and you actually already joined the Brotherhood, another location to hide. Okay. Foundation. Honestly, I cannot remember for the life of me what Foundation was before I started playing the game for a little bit, and life got hectic with the passing of my father. So, just a few real life things. I don't recall what this location was, and so forth, I just said. But it's a fast travel location, say, for the South Mountain Lookout Tower. Or, say, if you want to get to the site Charlie, it's a quick way to get into those locations. The other one that a lot of players actually just use this site for is actually for Huntersville. Now, as you can see, you see the Whitesprings. You would think, oh, it's just a hop, skip, and jump from here and there. No, there's a nice big cliff edge between us and Whitesprings, and I'll show you as I go along. If you need any vegetables and so forth, there's a nice big garden over here. You can get Tato plants, the slip beans, and corn. And there's sometimes manure or the chickens themselves. And there's about a bag or two of concrete over here too. Yep, concrete. That's for anyone who needs material for the camp. And there should be some soap. I will keep on pointing out soap in some of these fast travel locations because it's so hard to come by.
What's up with you?
Let's see, you have the power workstation right there.
Work the land now.
Now the workstations are actually split up by 3 groups. That was group 1, the power workstations. Group 2 is your chemic, your weapon, and your tinker workbench, and your stash. Now there's no ammo or aid station stash box for those with Fallout First. Here's your donation box. And let's see, we have, let's see, a medical vendor, I believe. And quite honestly, he has nothing I would want to buy. Radax, Raidaway, and Stimpak diluted. And that's it. I mean, sure, he might have ammo and some bulk, but that's not really worth the whole trip. Sunny himself will have a few weapons, the real one, and of course, he would be more or less the weapons vendor here. And then you got your food vendor over here. Now you do have Samuel. He'll sell you plans for trading for gold bullion.
Jen's got style that I can respect. You know what I mean?
And he is mainly tied into the Foundation's Allied Trust system. So if you're not seeing it, it's mainly because you don't have enough trust with the Foundation. Let's see here. There's nothing really up here, but I'm just going to show it anyway. This used to be, I believe, a command center. I'm trying to remember what type of enemies would spawn here. If I had to guess, it would be bandits or maybe cultists or something.
What the heck is a John anyway? I just don't get it.
Let's see. Oh, with the clouds, I can't really show you Whitesprings now. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. But yeah, down this way would be Whitesprings. If you need a quick rest, for players who don't have a camp, there's a rest area over here. Back when I wasn't using Fallout First, I would come over here and use it. And if you want to try to snipe anyone, say over here, here's a nice location, but do watch your step. You can fall easily out of here.
The only time I miss being inside the vault is when the weather's bad.
Kind of strange what you found in that vault.
Okay, inside our Foundation. Okay, yeah, there's a few glitches going on here and there. For the Go Treasure Hunt Raid quest, Vault 79. Now, we don't have any, like, vendors in here.
I made a lot of friends here in Foundation. Nobody's special yet, though.
And let's see here, there's nothing really too much, like, lore and so forth.
Plague of yours made sure he takes this inoculation seriously.
Pagan should be right there. I mean, there's a few workbenches like Chemist Station. I don't think there's a weapons workbench. That's the only one I think they're missing, the power armor one. There's a tinker, and I think I just bypassed the armor. I know there's an armor one down here somewhere. There we go. So if you get stuck, say you just want to hide from another player or just doing your own thing and just don't want to spend the caps and so forth, you can actually also fish, surprisingly enough. Let's see, it was around here by the waterfall. Yep. And you can just start fishing in this instance too. So if you have a fishing quest for, say, Savage Divide, you can actually come to Foundation and just do fishing in here. Now, it'll be just basic fish because there's no rat storms, there's no rain here, nothing like that. It's just you without being attacked by anything. Okay, this is our newest location added into the game during, what was it, Season 21 Fusion Fishing, I believe it was. I might be getting the season number wrong, but I know it was that correct season. And this is actually where you actually start learning how to fish and so forth. There's 3 NPCs here, technically 2, but still, you got your Captain Ramian, and yeah, that's a Moloch King, if I ever saw one, just mutated into a human. And Chumta, I think it was Lassie, Larry, one of the 2 names. Cooking station, Tinker's Workbench, stash box, scrap box, and your donation box. Now, it doesn't matter which one you talk to, honestly, if you're just done with your daily quest for the fishing, but if you try to do any, like, trading, you're only gonna get common bait. Quite honestly, I wish we could actually buy plants from these guys. So, yeah, that's what, 200 common bait from both of them. Plus, after you're done fishing, you can change the fish to what, fish chum and so forth, and feed it to Larry in the back. And after what, 50 to 100, you get free legendary weapons and armor. Yeah. I did a previous video about the captain's notes and so forth around here. But yeah, there's not really too much to go on, and they quite honestly, they need to update these guys' vendoring merchant slots they have. They're just empty. I wouldn't mind if they sold like 10, 50 improved bait. That would be nice for a change. Okay. This being its new location and so forth, I'm quite happy because now I can get to the Valley Gallery, and that's actually a location quest for Warner. She has these radio tubes you need to get, and sometimes it's this location here, Valley Gallery, and before we had to fast travel to either Foundation or Fort Atlas just to get to this location, because I didn't want to pay 50 caps just to get to the location. So this one is quite just like the crater, but this time just east of my one camp here is a dead zone. We can't go past it. So that leaves the Valley Gallery, the Workstation, Derby Homestead, the K-Max Transmission, which sometimes has a Winnebago there, and Baker's Offspring, which is a cultist hub. Ransack Bunker, Tangerine Town, Dingle Garage, and Harper's Ferry's Tunnel. There's also Big B's Rest Stop, which floaters do spawn here. And just over here, if you need the, what's it, the blood tick, those size ones, are just over here. If you need it for like an alcohol recipe, I should say. Otherwise, you're going to the Carryberry Bog, and you can actually get to the Robotech Research Center quite easily. Same with the General Steakhouse. And that's most of the area in the world I have. There's also the Site Delta, which I have for my ghoul, that isn't showing because I finished the main quest for it. It was glitched out when the ghoul came out. And I'll have to jump over to my ghoul and show you everything about this location in a second. Besides that, let's move on. Okay, the trading post. So I gotta turn my light on. I don't really see too many players coming here. One, because we have my post 0. Two, we have Volt 63 Upper Atrium to work with. And I'm probably mispronouncing that last one. But pretty much its location is no vendor, barely any workstations working, but it is also the only other location I found in the south that has, what is it? The medical aid bag. Wow. So yeah, the aid bag right here, your perk selection over here, punch card. The ammunition storage, and then over here is your scrap box and ammunition vending machine, which I don't really see any players using. If they sold ultrasight ammo, I'd be more impressed.
Some of our locally sourced water, freshly boiled.
I seriously want to shoot him, but if I do that, then the Whitesprings becomes hostile with me. Okay. Here's a medical supply vending machine, but I don't see any using those vending machines. They need to update the inventory. Bethesda. And I didn't realize that the chemist station's over here, same with your scrap box. I always have a hard time, and that's why, because it's not underneath the big tent. Now, around here, since it's actually right beside the Dark Hollow Manor, which is actually Vault 63's, well, upper atrium. Vault 63 is quite big. I'll be doing another video about that. But here's the deal. There's no point of this location, really, besides a few workstations. Quite honestly, they should just open another section of Vault 63 and we could just work with that. All this does is make it a little bit, tad bit easier to get to, what, Stoneman Lookout, Abandoned Convoy, the Shining Creek Caravan, and Old Ridge Lookout is actually with the Dark Manor. It's not that big. The traveling circles are so close, it's like, okay, this shouldn't have been added. Just put it in with the vault. Okay, so I like to call this location the true location of Vault 63 because this is the only location with your inside vault and you have friendly NPCs. With it, you have the second Old Rag Lookout, and if you really want to stretch it, the High Knob Lookout Tower. And you get all three lookouts from this location. Just going for south, west, and east, that's pretty much everything. Plus, you have the Repton Camp for the presidential vacation home. But either way, there's also another location for ghouls to come here, players who are playing as ghouls, to come here and relax because you don't have to need the disguise. You can relax, come here, and have no issues if you just want a breather. And let's see, I went with Odell, Oberlin, I should say. And sadly, there's no vendors, there's no stash, there's no nothing in here, I believe. Last time I checked. There might be a few items you can pick up, but honestly, they can come back and refreshing the place up. Say, oh, they fixed a few items since they've been gone. And yeah, honestly, these guys could actually have a vendor here to use. I mean, hey, there's even the subway here. Now, the third and final location for the Skyline Valley, which is actually closing down, is Milepost 0. Okay, so this is Milepost 0. I had to do a second retake because the original one was a little bit glitchy. And yeah. So I'll just start off. We have Molly. She's the main person you talk to after you do the quest, Bump in the Road, which is, of course, going to be ending soon. This is the one location I actually kind of like because after you hit rank 100, you can just do supply runs with the, I should say, caravan runs. Hold on. I think it's more quiet back here, yeah. I'll just use this little section. Pretty much, you do Bump in the Road, starts, the story quest would start here at Stony Man Lookout, and then you come back over here at Milepost 0. Talk to Marley, and you get the whole quest of caravans started, blah blah blah. You get usually small deliveries for your first, I think, 5 or 6, and then she gives you the option of actually doing medium and large caravan. So I'm kind of be disappointed, like I was trying to say, because after you hit rank 100, you had this particular custom event you can always call upon to do, even though it would crash, you had a chance to actually complete it and get your 3 that way quickly, and actually do it at your own time, and not just have to wait your own 15-20 minutes for each split of, you know, hourly events, since we only get 3 an hour. So I'm not sure if Manhunt's going to replace that or not. It's kind of not really telling us a whole bunch Possessed is. So what I'm noticing, and kind of sadly, we're going to be losing quite a few good traders. One of the ones I do like, I'll start with the one I did get first, was Theodore. He was your weapons expert and ammunition. And yeah, he would, sure, just mainly sold ammo at the beginning of rank 1. And this is all broken down in 3 ranks for players who won't be able to do this anymore. But rank 1 was ammunition, rank 2 was actually doing a quest for him for the plans of a B63 laser carbine. It's actually a really nice weapon. And it sounds like it'll be sold for either gold bullion or, I'm not sure, at Highway Town. We're going to have to see how it is. I'm going to do a updated video of the fast traveling, like I said at the beginning. So I'll find out where that is being sold at a different vendor, or maybe as a reward. Either way, we can no longer sell these. At one point, we were able to trade them. As you can see, I can't trade. That being said, on to our next stop, and that's going to be all imports. And yeah, Inca. I believe I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And yeah, she has a great deal of bulk. I always come to her for any like daily or weekly quests that deal with bulk, because back then I was doing the raids and I had like almost hitting max cap constantly, so I could just come here, spend my caps, and get my weekly done. So I'm gonna miss Inca in a way, because I was able to get a few items like screws a little bit cheaper here than I would at other vendors. So yeah, I'm gonna miss Inca and Theodore the most. So let me see here. We have the Cowbar and Tamer. And Josie here, well, besides her addiction, she'll move your Brahmin, update the Brahmin and so forth, and
Something on your mind? You can talk to me whenever you need an ear.
you can rename your Brahmin, which I just found you can do, I think in the last 2 seasons you could just do. If we could do that at the beginning, I never saw it pop up my whole time until later on. But most of the time it was talking about the Brahmin feed, and you would trade your
What
supplies.
you looking for?
And I believe I have mine at tier 3 for reflection. Yeah. Pretty much you can do a few things with the Brahmin, make it more healthy, have it reflect melee damage, have it regen its health, a few things like that, which is not too bad. Now, Axel and the decorator, at the beginning you only had a like basic cave. I made mine into an army style, which to me would fit into the theme of Fallout, how it was with the Chinese and so forth, the communists. But my one issue is this guy here. What should I... Gyro? Okay, he was never legendary, but he was Gyro. Oh. Okay, so I'm guessing... Well, Gyro was supposed to give you a daily quest, or weekly one at the very least. And I believe it would have been like do say 5 caravans to get an extra boost. That would have been nice in some cases. But for some reason he glitched out, but he was at least there. So let's see, let's just talk to Axel and see.
Oh, hey! Sorry.
Yeah, let's take a look at the place.
Well, this is all the stuff we've got right now. Cool, isn't it?
We had the standard Blue Ridge theme, which didn't really interest me. We had the coldest theme, and we had to take pretty much like the Cryptid Hunter theme, if we want to say. The Athletics, it wasn't that great. It reminded me of the Cryptid Hunter style, honestly. But that's why I went with military-based style to work with. There's not much lore here. I have to do a more thorough look around here again.
I lost the cards. Okay. Well, maybe later?
Well, I'm not sure about this child's backstory. But by the looks of the drawing in the back here, I say a few things happened, and it looks like there might have been like another character with that gorilla there.
I hope
Huh.
Papa comes back, 'cause I have new ways
Not
we
too
can
sure.
even
I'm
cooler.
hoping this is like before the war and was at the zoo type of deal. But, well, what, 25 years later? Well, oh, it happened, so he's a little bit too young for post-war. I'm not sure. Maybe a mutation scientist gimmick? Anyway, on to the next location. Now, she's never been in here, and that's Wendy, the Cryptid Hunter. And honestly, Tier 1 hiring, there's new plans and new offers. When I'm looking at these notes from Nuka Nights, and I'll have this page linked to my video in my description if you ever want to check out what was supposed to be in here for my post 0. And Tier 2, the Mossala meat, Megasloth mushroom, and the plans for present food backpack flare, which I'm seeing that stuff in a few. I think it was a Scorch holiday that just dropped recently, but pretty much some of the plans are actually being transferred already over. So yeah, She also had another task for caravans that was actually to move. Say if you want a certain crypt at the end of your caravan, you could have that crypt spawn in, whether it's light, big, or large. I don't know what happened. I'm guessing there was some type of glitch. I guess it's supposed to be an order from Wendy to Inca. So yeah, that's the only hint we have about Wendy. Now the last one, which I'm actually most disappointed in, we never got. And I'm looking at the notes, and pretty much it was supposed to be another Murmrgh, the one we had Rexy pick, but she would have been here giving you exchanging supplies for real plans throughout the whole world by region. I believe it was 10 for first, 20 for, let's see, Ash Heap in Toxic Valley, 30 for Savage Divine, and then 50 to 70 for Mire and Cranberry Bog. And one plan I was actually in the pool of it was actually the shielded casual clothing. I'm like, that's one set of clothing I have never gotten my hands on after all this time. So I have no idea what's going to happen with that system. I don't think they ever got actually to work out properly. So yeah. Before I end this, yeah. Okay, if you remember fishing, I should say. Oh come on, I jumped. I even heard the jetpack going off. But in the rewards for that season was a cannery. So I'm talking to a few players who also play like me as a herbivore, and there's a few items. I actually posted this in Reddit. I'll put this in my description notes as well again on what recipes the cannery can actually make for a herbivore, because we kind of do need this at the Whitesprings and a few other locations. Because I'm like, one particular item is this one here, the Shroom soup, which actually it's the second closest thing to cranberry relish, and that actually was supposed to be a canned cranberry relish into the cannery, but I guess Bethesda thought it was a bit too OP for the players, and that kind of hurts anyone who plays as a herbivore like me. Either way, I get about, for a non-herbivore, it'll be 5% XP boost for 30 minutes. For a herbivore, it's 10% boost. But I'm looking at this, throwing this list here, and I'm like, okay, so there's a lot of recipes that players could be using and saving for later when they need to, especially with how things are right now. So right now I have my camp either here for fishing, if you ever need to, or I might be having my camp over the Gling Depths before they do the next update on the December 2nd. Until then, I'll probably do a few other things and see about where I'll be come the next update over here. So thanks for watching. I think I have the Radiation Hills next, and I'll end it there. So yeah, we really do need this cannery here. It makes life a little bit more easier for players, and that kind of should be in like Whitesprings or maybe Foundation. Okay, Radiation Hills. I'm gonna do the inside first and then do the outside last, because I don't like how they talk constantly inside this silo site.
How long until it's taken from us?
So hold on.
Maybe it will resolve itself.
There we go. There's not really much in here. I kind of do wish we had more than a few workstations, like a cooking station. I think there might be an armor weapons workstation in this silo. But they could have done like added a Gourd vendor that sold you cams or the fix, or even glowing bags of blood. Tigger's workbench. I'm trying to remember what else is in here. The broken reactors. I mean, for a ghoul, that means you just stand by them, you take in rats. And yeah, there's not really much in here.
Running out of supplies again. We'll have to ration.
Let's see. Yeah, there's no vendor, but there is the one ghoul over here. AJ Vault, where you only have the one disguise of a dirty pillow. I'll be happy once they add in a few different disguises you can work with. Like, say, as you go on, you get a new disguise to work with. Say for the Brotherhood of Steel, one for Validation, Whitewood, the Responders.
Understand.
Okay, so high radiation zone. Doesn't help that there's a whole bunch of waste barrels all over the place. And yeah, I don't recall there's being any trader in this area. I do know on the backside here, I kind of wish some of these plants we could actually pick up and for the flux and so forth, but hey, it is what it is. Did they take away the gas barrels? Plastic container. I think they did. Gas canister. Because there was a glitch with the drill and the gas canisters over here. And if you pick them up for some reason, bag of charcoal. I've never seen that before. What does that produce? Cloth and acid. Okay. But up here, you only really have the 4 locations. Point Respawn, which is a ghoul-infested aid station. And it's really a sad story up here. Then you get the old dismal cabin. You will find a Winnego there. He used to be a college student. Hillside Cavern. That's how you get inside of the Radiation Hills. And the Bog and Gob, I have a hard time pronouncing that one. That's supposedly a treasure location, but you only get like 3 or 4 ingots of gold.
Quick, clean, alert. No hesitations.
Otherwise, most of your workstations is over here. With your power station and I think.
Don't get too sentimental. It'll make you weak.
Yeah. It's pretty much only scrap and there's no vendor.
One day at a time.
So besides all that, this is all I have to say about Radiation Hills. It's not that great of a quest. They could add in a vendor for these ghouls to come here, get some camps and so forth, and make it easier for the players. Okay, that's all I have to say. I hope this helps everyone who plays the game, because I'll make an updated video after Season 23 drops and the Highway Town comes in. So, yeah. I hope, like I was just saying, hope this helps new players and returning players, and maybe more information will come along. With that, thanks for watching and have a nice day.